How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is RuffledRowlit, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. Today we got ourselves some Pokemon rumors, leaks, all that kind of stuff to take a look at. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. First things first is going to be this COROCORO leak. Yes, we have not had COROCORO in a while in regards to Pokemon, but of course, usually COROCORO, for those of you guys who do not know, is a magazine in Japan that used to, emphasis on used to, actually provide leaks for upcoming Pokemon games. It's not that they were necessarily leaks, but it's like the actual magazine, the pages from it would leak ahead of time and would sometimes feature brand new Pokemon. Unfortunately, though, that has changed. They don't really do that anymore. They no longer have access to early information, as the Pokemon Company and the entire like system of how they do leaking and all that has kind of shifted, or not leaking, but information and news and all that kind of stuff has shifted to social media, YouTube. And of course, Pokemon likes to do their Pokemon Presents, right? So the news cycle doesn't really rely on, COROCORO anymore, but they did have this post right here, which features quite a few things. First of all, we do have the complete form of Zygarde in here, so that's being shown off for whatever reason. I mean, it is on the website as well. We already kind of knew that. They also do a little spot down here for Pokemon Champions, which I still need to make a very big video just going through that entire game and some thoughts and opinions on how it might change Pokemon. But overall, though, what is actually anything important from this that we can learn? Like, what is some useful information from this actual post here? Like, what can we learn from it? Well, we can learn this from Pokisutami, and this is like the most important thing, which is Fall 2025, because yes, in the top corner here it says 2025 and then Japanese text, which I cannot read, kanji or whatever, but like, again, this is still saying fall. I strongly believe we'll be getting this game before November, as all the games that have released in November have said to be winter releases before the date was announced. I'll have a better look at it later today and the rest of the info, but it's all just general stuff. But yes, the most of this stuff is general, but the fact that they still emphasize, even in the COROCORO and of course on the website and everything and in the trailers, they still emphasize on the Japanese side, they don't say late 2025, they don't say winter 2025, they specifically emphasize fall. And the way that they determine fall in Japan is different from how we determine it in the West, right? So keep that in mind. It is different how they determine that and how they decide it. So just remember that, keep it in mind, and let's move on to the next thing, which is going to be this post right here. Now, this is from Amashinu, who's just sharing a bunch of leaks that they have found from other people, and what they have to say is the following. Apparently, Xerneas and Yveltal will not appear in the main story. Instead, they will feature in a post-game episode. The A activity is what attracts them to the city. Before facing Xerneas, you'll battle 3 enraged bosses, and prior to confronting Yveltal, you'll challenge 3 mega bosses. The Z Cube is also in a post-game content. Now, we have already heard about this, because this was all posted, I think, by Ball Guy, who has had real information, real, like, sources and stuff like that. So yeah, like, it's a bit of a strange one, right, to say the least. It's a bit of a strange one because they have real info, but the problem is that info has now been disseminated, and it's a lot of like questions about like, is the information we're getting worthwhile? And also, of course, where is it all coming from originally? Well, it is all from the original leaker, the big Terra leaker. That's where this all stems from, so keep that in mind. Either way, though, moving down, they also have something else, which is this post right here saying, spoilers ahead, Pokemon Legends EA tech an extra dev time. Yes, development started in 2020. Release was planned for 2024. 10 months ago, ZA's main story was already fully playable with performance issues and missing models, quests, text, etc. Source is the Terra League. Why are the news not dropping? Well, delay in the Pokemon anime. The anime is expected to take part of the Pokemon Mega. All right, and the next thing that he says here is, why are news not dropping? Well, of course, like we already said, the anime is expected to take part of the mega hype alongside ZA. Source is, of course, Terra League. So basically, the reason they delayed it is, according to this at least, that the anime is supposed to have a mega arc happening in it, and if there's a mega arc in the anime, they wanted to make sure the game and that would like match up, but the anime was sort of behind. At least that's what they're implying here. The news also delayed due to Terra League happening. That's another thing. That was from Ku, who implied that was the case. And then PLZA taking time equals a great game. Maybe the Terra League guy, the guy who leaked everything, actually loved the gameplay apparently. So we can take a look at the actual post here. From this person who says, who's called Rasen was taken, saying, important updates. According to Ken Sugimori, Pokemon Legends EA was originally supposed to release in 2024. This aligns with the Game Freak administrator's website that showed a playable build of Legends EA was completed in February 24th, 3 days before it was announced at Pokemon Day back in 2024. So the game was, technically speaking, on a technicality level, completed, right? Now, here's the direct quote. Sugimori, it may be a good idea to include information for all the people who are we are preparing here. It could really liven things up. It's all planned for Ikaku in 2024, Ikaku being the code name for Pokemon Legends EA, which will be the 3rd year. Zygarde and Zeraora are the focus for now. As for the future, let's just see. Then, Mega Zygarde and Mega Zeraora 100% confirmed, which yes, but now Zeraora is kind of the one that's like not confirmed anymore because they might be in like a giveaway / thing later down the line, or an update, or a DLC even potentially. In a conversation about Pokemon Horizons anime, Game Freak staff mentioned this. Mega Zygarde, Iwao, says, I have a bit of an anxiety because regular Zygarde appeared in Ikaku, so when will it show up here? Omori. Along with that, wouldn't it make sense to debut Mega Zygarde at the same time? Sugimori, that makes more sense. Then about Mega Zeraora, Omori says it's unavoidable that the anime staff may not know this, but we are currently working on a Mega Zeraora. So from our perspective, it would make a lot more sense to utilize Zeraora now rather than later. It'll be important to match the timings. Sugimori, it'll be a lot more interesting if these 6 heroes were in legendary Pokemon. And there you go. So basically, what this really shows is how big of an influence, these things have on each other. If something happens in the anime, it can have a direct correlation with what happens in the games, of course, or vice versa. So just keep that in mind. There is a correlation between these things, the way they are being done here. So just remember that in your mind whenever we do talk about these things. Next up, though, is a bit of a fan art of what Mega FERALIGATR is going to look like based off of a leak that came out the other day. Because, yes, there has been a leak for what it's supposed to look like, and this is a general idea of what you can expect, more or less. Also, here's a good concept that has been, according to leakers, is very close to what we could be expecting for Mega Greninja, which is something along the lines of this, like Mega Greninja actually surfing on top of one of its, like, shuriken, one of the stars. So it's a really cool, like, fan art, like, even, 3D model by Card NL. Or Card NLH now, because I guess he's changed his name slightly. But yeah, Card NL basically has made some really cool freaking like concepts for what this could look like. And this, like, according again to leakers, this actually is more or less what you can expect the actual Mega Greninja to look like when we do get that thing officially revealed. So just keep that in mind before we move further on. Next up, though, and this is to do specifically with Mega Mewtwo. So according to some of these leakers over on one of these Discords, they have been saying specifically that Mega, Mewtwo wouldn't be happening, that Mega Mewtwo would not be happening. However, this has been put into question because there has been a lot of merch leaks. This is like merchandising leaks that are happening for Pokemon. And I think these are new ones, right? Because that's what they've been shared. But yes, these merch leaks are including Mega Mewtwo, both versions in these leaks, which is a little bit strange because on one hand, they're saying it's not going to happen, but then why would they be doing Mega Mewtwo merch? Because we already have Mega Mewtwo, it already exists. But if it's not going to be in Legends EA, then why would it even exist at all? Like, what's the point of even including it here? What's the point of making merch out of it if it doesn't correlate, right? I mean, of course, they always could, but it would just be a little bit weird, wouldn't it? If it's not going to be one of the Pokemon available in Legends EA, because then it would be kind of like strange. People wouldn't have much of a reason to buy the merch as much unless, they're playing with that said Pokemon in the game. Again, the point mainly just being that Mega Mewtwo, according to what the information they knew before is that Mewtwo was not supposed to be in there, but remember, they're working off of leaks that are old, information that is old, and this stuff and this shit can change at any given time. Like literally at any point of time, this stuff can change. So just keep that in mind. Remember that that's always a possibility because I highly think that might be the case here. So just keep that in mind. But let's move on to the next thing, which is a theory that was actually shared on that Discord by SketchyV. So shout out to SketchyV for sharing this theory. For some reason, my fat face is blocking the... There you go. You can see what it looks like. But what he said is, for what I gathered with the hints, and this is a theory about Quasartico tried repurposing the ultimate weapon as an energy source for all of Lumiose, but its power was so great that they can't control it or stop it anymore. And all that infinity energy has been forcing Pokemon to mega evolve and go nuts. So they secretly hosted the DZA Royale as both a distraction and means of recruitment to find a trainer strong enough to stop the weapon. And according to one of the people on there who's been sharing information, apparently that is a really good theory because it's maybe not like one-to-one as to what's happening in this game, but it is a close one in some sense. It's saying a lot of things that could be relevant later down the line. So just keep that in mind. It's a good theory, apparently. That's the biggest takeaway from this. It's like a decent theory. It's not that bad, and that's the biggest takeaway from that one. So just keep that in mind. However, we do have more stuff to talk about. I'm going to go back here to Amashino's like giant thread, because there's been a lot of stuff to do, especially with the, specifically to do with the anime and how it correlates. But here's what he says though. Megazord Aura is in the anime. Now this is a obviously fake image right here, but that's not the point. However, it is not in the base game of PLZA. You know what that means. A DLC is or was planned for Legends EA. The next mega focused anime Pokemon arc is called Mega Voltage for a reason. And while talking anime Pokemon leaks, the Gen 10 anime for Gaia is already in the works since last year, 2024, and the airing is expected next year, 2026. The protagonist is a boy, so that's implying a brand new, and we have heard about that there is going to be a brand new, character, like main character that we're going to be playing as, a brand new main character for the anime. So that's going to be big, because we have heard about that, but again, there's none of that is like at the moment actually confirmed. So keep that in mind. But it's from the giant leak, and keep in mind these things can change. That's the biggest thing to always remember. These leaks and rumors and stuff like that, this stuff can always just change randomly when you least expect it. Like, it always can go just downhill when you least expect it, and they can just change what they're doing. So just remember, it also appears that one of the first boss encounters is Mega Absol. P.S. The pink coloration here is purely aesthetic, not implying a shiny encounter. But there has been something said about Mega Absol. I've even heard about this myself, that there is something about Mega Absol in this game that's going to be special. We don't know what that means, but we'll have to wait and see. And yeah, the first Mega you receive in the game is going to be Mega Lucario, as per usual. This is something we already heard in previous posts. And then here is, you will encounter members of a villainous group, notably at night during the ZA Royale. Their boss, known as Coriview, an alias, uses a Scolipede, potentially a Mega Scolipede, and this art is by, of course, our boy Subarashi. But yes, apparently there is going to be some sort of evil group doing things late at night, like within the confines of... well, not in the confines, within the space. Well, yeah, in the confines of the ZA Royale. So within the ZA Royale, there will be an evil organization that's going to be doing bad stuff. That's the biggest takeaway from this, right? There's going to be an evil team doing stuff during those periods of time. So keep that in mind. And of course, we do have some sick, fan art down here. Now, I'm not going to be I'm just going to show it like this. There you go. You can see it, but then I'm going to move on from it because the artist of those does not like their art being shown in other people's videos. So let's move on from that. Now, Emma is in, Emma is in, although, of course, yes, this is again talking about more characters. This case being Emma from, of course, the, Looker Investigation Bureau and all that. Of course, she takes over apparently in this game. Now, she's in it, but of course, older. You battle her during the story. She also receives her Mega Pokemon Malamar from a certain character. Apparently, it might be Xerosic. Yes, Xerosic also returns, reformed under a new name. He's lost some weight. Looker is apparently not in the game. Not sure, though. And there you go. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think that pretty much it summarizes for all the things today that we wanted to talk about. If there is anything I missed, I'll let you know. Unfortunately, though, weirdly enough, 4chan is down at the moment. Somebody's hacked 4chan, which is funny to say in a weird way. Not that it's funny that it's been taken down, but funny in the sense that, the hacker known as 4chan. Anyway, it's currently down, so there's not been anything else I can cover in that regard. There is some other stuff, though, we'll be talking about soon. So stay tuned, stay relaxed, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.